Welcome to The Art of Likability, ranked one of the top podcasts in the world. In this podcast, you'll discover how to leverage likability to build stronger relationships, lead more efficiently, close more sales, and keep customers happy while increasing success in your professional and personal life. Let's jump in with your host, Arel Moody.
What's going on, Art of Likability family? Arel Moody here, your host of the Art of Likability podcast, where we teach you the strategies and the skills you need to take your life to the next level by giving you charisma, the it factor, how to have better connections and relationships with others, better connections and relationships with yourself. Now, this week's podcast episode is super personal for me. It is I've had this epiphany. And I've been sitting in this epiphany for the last couple of weeks, and I've had more joy and more happiness in my life than I haven't had in a very, very long time. And I wanted to share this with others, and I was afraid that by sharing this, I wouldn't be able to articulate it as well as I believe what I'm about to share with you is. So I want you to stay with me because what I'm about to share with you is so powerful and it's so personal. It means so much to me. And I really believe this has the ability to unlock incredible amounts of happiness and gratitude in your life because it's done it for me. And I've just been so like joyful, like in a state of joy when I get present to this idea. And I realized that what has caused so much pain in our lives is not that we inherently don't appreciate what we have. It's simply because we compare what we have to what others have. So let me be clear. Let me explain what I'm saying. You have a smartphone. I'm pretty sure you have a smartphone. Like if you have a flip phone, good for you if you're finding a way to listen to this podcast with your flip phone. But you have a smartphone, right? So I want you to imagine this for a moment. I want you to imagine that only 1,000 people in the world owned a smartphone, okay? The same access to the internet, the same access to apps, everything is built in exactly the way it is right now. So it's all of the accessibility is still exactly the same. The only difference is instead of almost everyone having a smartphone, only 100 or 1,000 people, let's say 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people had a smartphone. What do you think that smartphone would be worth? What do you think it would mean if you were one of the 1,000 people in the entirety of the 8 billion people or so that are on this planet that had access to a smartphone? What do you think that would mean? If there were only 1,000 smartphones and it had the same power, the same accessibility, all of this stuff was exactly the same. The only difference is that 1,000 people had it and you were one of those 1,000 people. Do you think your status would be super high? You betcha. Do you think the amount of joy you would have that you could do all these incredible things would be super high? You betcha. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, but Arel, if there was only 1,000 people, social media wouldn't be popping like that. Just bear with me when I'm trying to get to what I'm trying to say here, right? The point is, that smartphone, if only 1,000 people had it, it would be the most coveted device. It would be the most desired, the most valuable thing because it was so limited in quantity. But because everybody has a smartphone and smartphone technology is so ubiquitous and everyone has it, the fact that you have a smartphone doesn't even mean anything to most people. If anything, it only means something to someone if they lose their phone. But even now, a lot of people lose their phone. They're like, oh, everything's backed up on the cloud. I'll just get a new one. No biggie or whatever, right? But literally, when that hit me, the reality of it hit me, that it's not necessarily the inherent value that we appreciate. It's simply, do I have it and other people don't have it? But if you get present to the inherent value in all that you have, it's incredible. You know, it's like a Mercedes-Benz, right? You take the car, the Mercedes-Benz, the vehicle, say it's a brand new, S550, beautiful vehicle, right? Whatever your beautiful vehicle is, right? Let's just take that car. So just for argument's sake, let's call it a Mercedes or a Lexus or BMW, whatever, right? Whatever is that dream car. If you were in a neighborhood where everyone in that neighborhood had that Mercedes S500, S550, whatever, immediately that car becomes less inherently valuable because everyone has it. The inherent value of the car is exactly the same. The drive is the same. The look is the same. The aesthetics is the same. The only difference is that everyone else in your neighborhood has it. So that exact same vehicle in one neighborhood gives you a good feeling, status, enjoyment, drive, comfortability, all that stuff. In the exact same car in a different neighborhood, not such a big deal. Isn't that wild? So like if we really get that the fallacy of joy is not in the inherent value of the things we have, but simply our inability to recognize its inherent value simply because we're comparing it to what everyone else has access to. That's unbelievably incredible. Like right now, you listening to this, I don't care where you are in the world. We have listeners in over 170 countries. I don't care where you are in the world. If you're listening to this podcast right now, I promise you, you are wealthier than the wealthiest king from like 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Let's take medieval times, right? There's a king in medieval times living the greatest life ever, right? Living the greatest life ever. Your life is better than that king's life. I promise you that. You have food, access to food, warmth, cool when it's hot, indoor plumbing, entertainment whenever you want at your fingertips, running cold water. Can we talk about water for a second, people? There are millions of people who don't have access to clean water. I want you to get this. There are millions of people right now in this world that do not have access to clean water. And all that would change their life would be access to clean water. And you can go to your sink right now, turn it on, and there's clean water. That's amazing. Like if you really get present to it, that is amazing. I can go to my sink right now and turn it on and drink water. Clean water, fresh water, as much as I want. And we're out here not drinking enough water. We're dehydrated in the first world. But you have access to clean water. That is amazing. And if you get present to how amazing it is, you start realizing how amazing everything in life is. I go to the sink, I turn on a faucet the last couple of weeks, and I'm like, I have cold water. I have ice cubes in my freezer if I want to make it colder. I can make it hot. I have access to hot water. I can boil it in the microwave in moments. That's amazing. Do you get that? That is amazing because there are millions of people in this world who be like, yo, you could do what? You could get water like what? But simply because we can access the water and all of our neighbors can access the water and everyone else can access water, we think it's no big deal. So we lose the inherent amazement in it simply and only because other people have access to it. That's it. So if you can move yourself to a position where you can truly look at things for how amazing they are, truly, not based on simply, oh, well, if everyone has access to it, it's not nearly as amazing, but you're like, yo, this is amazing because it's amazing, you will be blown away by how incredible your life is. Really. Just blown away. Like the other day, I was like, there's an app. I want you to catch this, right? Like years ago, if you wanted to drive somewhere, you had to unfold a huge map. And you had to with your finger mark it out and use a pen or pencil or marker to indicate the steps you would take. And you'd have to drive. And you'd either have to have a co-pilot who was reading the map and making sure you were making the turns when you were supposed to make it. Or you had to pull over on the side of the road and look at the map and make sure you were still on the right course, get back on the road and drive it. And that's how you would get somewhere. And then years ago, this thing called MapQuest comes out. And instead of having to look at an actual map, You could just print out the step-by-step directions and hold up a piece of paper while you're driving and look at the piece of paper and see the turns you would have to make. And then there became these hundreds of dollar devices called GPSs that you could put into your car. And it would not only give you directions, but it would speak it to you and show it to you. And then it became free with Google Maps on your phone. And then the map can actually tell you the fastest way to get somewhere. Hey, there's an accident up here. Don't take this way. Take this way. It's faster and it's free and you have access to it and you can go anywhere you want in the world with directions. That is amazing. That is amazing. Like, it's amazing. Like, get present to how amazing that is. I was in London the other day, right, on a trip, and there's Uber out there. I have this smartphone technology that's global that allows me to go and to pick up a ride and to have it take me to my final destination. And I can get in, get out. No problem. No waiting. I don't have to wait an hour. The Uber was like 5 minutes away. And it took me exactly where I needed to go. It's a pleasant ride. That technology exists. It's amazing. And this is our life. This is our everyday life. This is what we do every day. If we are present to how amazing that is, like I'm walking around and I look and I'm like, we have light. It's dark outside. It's nighttime and there's light. That's amazing. I can go to a bed and sleep on this comfortable bed. That's amazing. You know, it's amazing. And we get so caught up in this comparison. Literally, it's the comparison is the joy, is the thief of joy. It's just comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. That's it. Because when you look at your life and you say, yes, I have all those things you're saying, Arel, but I don't have what this person has. I'm not as good looking as this person has. I'm not as wealthy as this person has. Get present to what you have. It is amazing. Amazing. And if you can realize that your joy, if you can look at the inherent amazingness of really what's in your life, you should be smiling from ear to ear. When you get present to how great it is to eat food, there are people starving. They can't eat. Have you ever been starving? Like, have you ever gone like more than a day without eating and then ate? It feels amazing. You haven't drunk water and you drink, and you can do that every day. And then we're complaining because we don't have like this like expensive food. That's what we're upset about. Yo, if you get present to the inherent value in things, you'll walk around just like, yo, it's amazing. You have an amazing life. And all you have to do to really get present to it, is instead of comparing what you have compared to others, just look at the inherent value and the amazingness that you have access to and appreciate it. I tell you what, if this the only podcast episode of mine you ever listen to, I tell you this probably be one of the most important ones you'll ever listen to. And I hope that my prayer to God is that I am explaining this in a way that you get this in your soul, not just like, oh, okay, but like you're like, yo, I can access a computer, I can eat food, I can breathe. My body is functioning. It's amazing. It's a gift. And I hope you get access. It's just amazing. And then you can walk around and breathe and look around at how amazing it is and not say, oh, but I don't have enough friends. I only got one friend. That's amazing. That's amazing. You have one friend. That's amazing. You have someone in this world you can talk to. That's cool. Call them up and tell them you love them right now. Because that's amazing. Oh, but I don't have 500,000 followers on Instagram. So what? That's just a comparison. Someone who has 500,000 followers on Instagram, I promise you, they do not have a personal relationship with all 500,000 of those people. It's just a comparison. The comparison is the thief of joy. But when you get in present to the inherent value of how amazing it is, the stuff we can do, the stuff we have access to, it's mind-boggling. It's amazing that there are people who created all these things in the world and you benefit from them every day. So go out and appreciate your stuff, man. Walk around today. My challenge to you this week is just walk around and look at how beautiful something is. Look at how gorgeous the sky is, the clouds. You know, they say if a sunset only happened once every 7 years, we'd call it a miracle. But since it happens every day, we don't care about it. A sunset is beautiful. A sunrise is beautiful. I mean, look at it. Look at the moon, the stars, how bright it is, beautiful. If the moon only came out once every 50 years, when it came out, we would be amazed by it because it comes out every night. We don't care about it. It's not the inherent value. It's the comparison. Oh, it comes out every night. That's no big deal. Everyone can see the moon. That's not a big deal. What if the moon only showed itself once every 50 years and only 100 people in the world could see it once every 50 years? Do you know how valuable it would be to see the moon? But simply because you can see it every night and everyone else can see it, we no longer think it's valuable? Do you get what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, this is the secret of joy right here. I mean, if you want joy, like just walking around with a sense of joy that is not related to drugs or alcohol, just a general sense of euphoria, this is it, my friend. Please give it a try and just get present to the joy. It's a beautiful thing. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear what you got present to. Send me a tweet or Instagram message or Facebook message or something in this beautiful way of communicating electronically instantly. Send me something at Arel Moody, ARELMOODIE. That's at ARELMOODIE on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. And let me know, what do you appreciate? What is something that you looked at with new eyes, with appreciation? Let me know if you appreciate this podcast. Please leave a 5-star review. I read those and I get so happy when people tell me how much this has helped them. It would mean the world to me. Do it. Because this world is beautiful. But this information ain't going to change your life. The implementation of this is going to absolutely bring you joy at such a high level. And that's my wish to you, that you can experience joy by appreciating what's available to you right now. Sending you a big ol' high five. You are awesome.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, The Art of Likability, and reach out with any questions you have. Until next time, remember, my friend, you are awesome.